In this lesson, we're going to be building on what we learned last class with scatter plots. Sometimes there's not a single line that passes through all the data points. You can see these data values are just all spread out here. And so there's not a single line that goes through them, but you can try and find the line that best fits the data. This is called fitting, finding the line of best fit, or linear regression. Two different words that mean the same thing. I think there's a word for that in English. Oh yeah, synonym. Alright, so to create a scatter plot, we're going to do that and then calculate and come up with the regression equation. So everything, all the steps are right here for you. So if you get home tonight or you're working on this later in study block and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forget everything she said. Well, first of all, you could pull the video back up on your Chromebook or laptop, but also you could just look back at your notes and the steps are right here. So what we're going to do is first use this data. X is going to go into list 1, Y is going to go into list 2. And that's going to need a little bit more probably in a second. So go to your calculator, turn it on, open it up, and we're going to hit stat and then enter. And then we're going to type in our data. Now if you have stuff, if you don't have anything in your list, if they're blank like mine, then you can skip this next step. But if you have stuff in your list, you would arrow up to highlight the whole list, hit clear and then enter, and it will clear it out. So keep that in mind for the future if you don't need to use it now. So go ahead and just take your time and type in the X values. And then arrow to the right and type in the Y values. It's always good to glance back at your list and make sure that they're the same length to make sure you enter in the same amount of Y values and X values. So the basic of just getting the equation is to go to stat, arrow to the right, number 4. You can hit 4 or arrow down and hit enter on that. And then just hit enter, 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 enter until you get the equation. And it tells you, if you forget, it says, well, the form is y equals ax plus b, and then a is this, b is this. So we're just going to go ahead and add that to our notes. So write the equation y equals, always round to the hundredths place unless specified otherwise, so 0.77x minus 0.18. So that's our equation, but some other stuff that you can do with this. You can look at the scatter plot itself. So if you hit the top left button, y equals, if you have something in there and any of those y equals, go ahead and clear that out. And what I want you to do, if we're graphing a scatter plot, you need to have this plot 1 that's above highlighted. So what you're going to do is you're going to arrow up so that plot 1 is blinking, and then hit enter and then go back down, and now your plot is turned on. Now, if you ever get an error when you're graphing, it might be because your plot is on and you don't want it to be. But in this case, we do. So then we're going to type in our equation, 0.77x. And x does have a button. It's right next to alpha, minus 0.18. And then hit zoom, number 9. And you can see on mine, it's that zoom stat. And it's going to go ahead and graph your points. And then your line, and see how that line just approximates the graph, goes right through those points, 3 above, 3 below, and that is the best fitting line. So there you go. We went over how to graph the scatter plot and the line and how to get the equation. Flip over and we'll try a couple more. So for the next example, we're just going to go ahead and type in x values for list 1, y values for list 2. So hit stat, enter. And you're just going to arrow up, hit clear, and then enter to clear out your list. And if you ever get lost on these steps, notice that the last button that I use is highlighted in red. So you can always use that as a reference. So go ahead and type these in. 1, 1.5. And notice it does change 1.0 to just 1. I'm just going to glance back over my list, make sure they're the same length, and it wants the equation. So I'm going to not graph it, I'm just going to go stat, arrow to the right, number 4, enter, 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 and get your equation routing to the first place. So it's going to be y equals 1.64x plus 2.57. Now, we didn't talk about correlation on the front, but you did talk about it a little bit last class. If you were to look at this graph, so go to y equals, clear out that equation and type in your new one, 1.64x plus 2.5709. It's going in the positive direction, so you would say that the correlation is positive. You can also tell by looking at the slope, because if the slope is positive, then that means that the correlation is positive, most likely, unless that's deceiving because actually there's no correlation. So it is good to look at the graph. Let's try the next one. So enter in x for list 1, y for list 2. Stat, enter, not enter, enter. And clear that out, clear, enter, enter, type in your values. Alright, from here I'm going to get my equation, stat, arrow to the right, number 4, enter, 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 and we're going to get y equals negative 1.79x plus 15.45. Now here's a little lesson on rounding. Remember to round, so let's just look back at what I rounded to negative 1.79. It was negative 1.789. So if I want to round to the hundredths place, you look just to the right of it. If that number is 5 or above, you can give it a shove. So I shoved it up to 9. If it's 4 or below, then you just let it go. So there's a 5-second refresher on rounding. All right, let's look at the graph. So we're going to go to y equals, type in our new equation, negative 1.79x plus 15.45. Go ahead and hit zoom 9. And that's going down. And I can also tell because the slope is negative, so it's a negative correlation. Now, when it comes to doing your homework, do you need a calculator for this? Yes. So what that means is you either need to do your homework in one lunch tutoring when you can use one of the math teacher's calculators, or you need to go home and download your own calculator, or you can use Desmos.com on your Chromebook or laptop. But keep in mind, if you have an Android device, then you can download something called Wabbit EMU, and that is a great calculator simulator. All right, on to some more fun problems, because let's be honest, there was no context with these, so I don't know what the heck those numbers are talking about. So let's look at some real-world examples. This says the table shows the average number of gallons of milk a family drinks per week. Part A says find the regression equation. So what it wants us to do is get the equation. So let's go ahead and enter family size into list 1, number of gallons into list 2, and it's usually going to go like that. First one's list 1, second one's list 2. So hit stat enter, clear out what we've got there, and type in your 2 lists. Alright, let's get our equation. Stat here at the right, number 4. Enter, 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 enter. So we're going to y equals 0.89. Yeah. The number to the right of 9 is 1, so you can let it go. And then x minus 0.09. Okay, part B says find the milk consumption in 1 week of a 7-member family. So look at your variables. This is x, this is y. So 7-member family, is that going to be an x or a y value? Well, family size is x. So there's really two options. So we can let x equal 7 and plug that into our equation. So y equals 0.89 times 7 minus 0.09. Plug that right into your calculator. 0.89 times 7 minus 0.09. Oh, and by the way, just watching the video and watching me type this in the calculator is not helpful at all to anybody. So make sure that you're actually doing this too and not just being a passive observer. Okay? Enter. So it's going to predict that a 7-member family will drink about 6.14 gallons per week. That sounds like a lot of milk. Another way that you can do this, so that's option 1, to plug in by hand. But what if it asks you to predict, like, okay, for a 7-member family, okay, but now I got some relatives coming for, I don't know, summer break. So I need to know, there's 12 people in my house, how much milk should I buy? Well, another good way to do this is to go into y equals and type in your equation. So we're going to go to y equals, type in 0.9889x, minus 0.09. And now I want to look at the table. And if you look, table is this button up here. I'm going to hit second graph to get to my table. Now, if I just go to the x value of 3, 1, 2, 3, it's going to predict the same amount. And I realize that no one can really see that. Hold on. 0.89x minus 0.09. So this will predict how many gallons of milk you would drink. Oh, there we go. 7 is what we did. So go to 7, there we go, 6.14 gallons. So you can predict it that way as well. So if I wanted to know, okay, I've got 12 people staying at my house this week, how much milk should I buy? It says 10 gallons. So you better go to Sam's Club or just buy yourself a cow. That's a lot of milk. All right, so there you go. First real world problem. Let's try the next one. The table shows a number of dollars in billions spent on toys and sports supplies in the U.S. from 1990 to 1995. So it says find the regression equation. So same thing, we're going to just put this into list 1, list 2. This is our x, this is our y, and let's get that equation. So let's go to stat, enter, clear, enter, clear, enter. Oh, hold on, by the way. Leave out 2 because we do not know the y value for that. So we're going to skip 2. So 0, 1, 3, 4, 5. And then type in your billions of dollars. Do you expect that the amount spent on toys and sports supplies is going up or going down as we go through time? Probably going up. Our toys are getting more expensive too. Think about when you were a kid, what toy you had, and now kids have like iPads. It's crazy. Much more expensive than like the Legos I had when I was growing up. So anyway, once you've got this typed in, go to stat, arrow to the right, number 4, enter, 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 enter. Oops. Do that again. And go ahead and round. So y equals 2.24 x plus, let me see that, 30.91. All right, part B says estimate the amount spent on toys and sports supplies in 1992. So do I put 1992 in for x? No, big mistake. What is X representing? Very good. Years since 1990. So, for 1992, how many years since 1990 is that? Well, it's 1990, from 1992 minus 1990. That's 2. And that's where we're going to fill in our chart right here. So we're going to let X equal 2. So you can either plug it by hand, or plug this equation into your calculator. And get it that way. Look at the table. I'm just going to do it by hand. So type in 2.24 times 2 plus 30.91. Enter. And we're estimating $35.39 billion. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Spend a lot of money on entertainment in this country. All right. So there you go. Feel free as you go through the YouTube problems to go back and watch any of these steps that you might need in order to solve these. Thanks for watching.